Next up, the Diamond Jubilee Challenge Cup. This is our junior women's quadruple sculls. On the left-hand side of your screen, Tideway Scullers School. And on the right-hand side of your picture, Redwood Scullers, USA. And Tom Morgan, I know certainly you've been following the Redwood crew quite closely. What do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, we had them on our podcast, Camilla, at the beginning of the week. And quite frankly, had you given me this draw earlier in the week, I would have said Redwood would wipe the floor. But looking at this, Tideway Scullers turning over Marlow last night, it looks like another scalp may be coming their way.
Yeah, and Tideway Scullers will have been riding high from their successful campaign in the Forley Challenge Cup, which is the equivalent trophy here for junior men, and now looking to turn that into success in the women's side in the Diamond Jubilee Challenge Cup. And they are leading out at the moment. Redwood just struggling with their steering somewhat here, actually. And in the bow seat, Lila Henn, she just is looking left, she's looking right. I think she's a little bit unsure where she needs to be.
Yeah, certainly that is true, and you can see Tideway Scullers just being warned here. They're moving into mutual water in the middle of the river. Don't want to be doing that because there is nowhere near enough room to justify doing that at this stage. But you're right, Redwood looking more out of the boat than in, which is only going to slow them down. But as these crews pan to level with us, I would say that the bow of that Redwood boat is just about in touch with Tideway Scullers. It's less than a length, and Camilla, we've already been in this position today. It's far less than a length, in fact. It's actually more like half a length. And as these crews come past us, the race is by no means run, not even close. Redwood, national champions in the US of A, can they come back through? This is where they need to put on their class, put on their pedigree and show us what they've got.
Yeah, it requires a really mature racing style for these junior athletes, all under 18 years of age, to be competing here at Henley Royal Regatta in this category. But they need to demonstrate real maturity to come back from behind, especially in the middle of the course. You've already been rowing for a number of minutes at full pace. You're feeling tired. You can't see your opposition. And this crew really need to kind of corral themselves now. And they'll start to be able to hear and see Tideway Scullers just out of the corner of their eye, Tom.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now, Tideway Scullers obviously rode down Marlow last night, so they will certainly be riding high off the back of taking down the national champions. What about adding the national champions of the USA to their rep book as well? That would be pretty impressive. And as these crews come past what was Remenham and now into the enclosures, shortening up a little bit on both sides, this is going to come down to a bit of a sprint, I think.
Yeah, it is going to come down to the sprint. They're going to be gearing themselves up for that. They can't go too early. You know, again, it's a bit of a game of chicken here. Who's going to go first? Who needs to go first? And Tideway Scullers will be feeling the pressure there in the red, yellow and white, because Redwood Scullers, I think, will have just edged their bow ball in front maybe for the first time in this race, and right where it counts, Tom.
Yeah, I think they call that turning on the afterburners. They've gone through a gear there, Redwood. Again, having a little bit of trouble with their steering. A little bit of a look over there from Lila Henn in the bow seat. She needs to stay focused on her crew, because at the moment they have the momentum. They've got the impetus. They need to now start to pull away from Tideway Scullers, because if they can do that, if they can continue to accelerate, the psychological impact that will have on Tideway Scullers will be huge, as Redwood just move into the middle of the course, warned there by the umpire. This is not helping them, Camilla.
Yeah, Andy Crawford, you can see there in the umpire's launch with his white flag directing Redwood Scullers back to their station on the Buckinghamshire side. And every time that happens, Tideway Scullers are going to feel just that little bit more confidence that they're focusing on their steering and not focusing on the line. And look at this, it's really thrown off Redwood. Tideway are going to really benefit from this, and we're going to have to watch out here for the booms and the piles, because Lila Henn, who's steering this crew, she looks over with every single stroke. She's struggling a bit here, Tom.
Absolutely struggling, yeah. It's starting to have an effect on what was really turning into a compelling race. And I think Tideway Scullers, it's so close. It's Redwood just by a fingernail at the moment, and it's not being helped by the steering, but they're in the final 10 strokes here, Camilla. They need to take the rate up, and now's the time they need to go.
Well, they're getting quite close in the centrepiece of water here, and if Tideway Scullers edge out any further, they might be crossing blades, but Redwood Scullers just not going to focus on their steering for the final 10 strokes. They're going to put all of their power into crossing that line, a quarter of a length ahead of Scullers. And that was all done in the second third of that race. And a bit of a clash there. As I say, the steering just went completely in that final 10 strokes, but it got them over the line ahead of Tideway Scullers School in this Diamond Jubilee Challenge Cup.
Yeah, look, Redwood ended up rowing about an extra 1,000 metres there, just from sort of steering all over the place. So credit to them for the win, but if they want to take on the very best that the UK have to offer, they're going to have to improve on that. But look, amazing race from those girls. Tideway Scullers, commiserations, a brilliant row from both crews.